Best players in the world putt with their head down, but did you hear this on the latest No Laying Up podcast?
Know how much time I want to spend in this rabbit hole because I don't know if I want to walk away from this podcast feeling like I should be putting with my eyes on the target.
You do.
I know that is the conclusion, but I don't know if I'm ready to commit to that.
My name is Ben Pelicani, PGA teaching professional in Nashville, Tennessee. I also have an undergraduate study in mechanical engineering from Bucknell University. Recently, there's a study by Dr. Mackenzie on heads-up putting. I want to start with saying that Dr. Mackenzie is thoughtful, and all his research protocols would be upheld in all research venues. He is constantly looking to help golfers to become better players. But I want to add a little nuance to that study, one that might add deeper meaning to why we might not see that on the PGA Tour. Here is a system in which I want to show you why heads-up putting might not quite tell the whole story on how to become a great putter.
First thing we're going to do is get the stump of the green. We're going to use the USGA recommended way of doing that. 3 balls downhill, 3 balls uphill. The downhill went 12 feet 5 inches. The uphill 9 feet 10 inches. That's for a stump of 11. Then I'm going to look at this putt right here. This is about a 2.25 to 2.5% slope. And then we're going to use what we call a zero putt, releasing a ball from zero with the perfect putter. And we're going to release 3 balls so the ball goes roughly 12 to 18 inches past the hole. From there, I'm going to measure it. That was 6 feet 2 inches. Then I'm going to do the same thing downhill, and that was 13 feet 5 inches.
So why would heads-up putting maybe fall short in this scenario? This is a 2.5 to 2.25 slope green. This is not a massive slope by any regards. As you can tell by the stump of the green, it's not an overly quick green either. But as you can tell by these two very distinct distance putts, that this system of using the zero putt on the perfect putter, which closely mimics the stump of the green, you're going to notice that these two distances are drastically different. If you use your eyes only to go from this 6-footer or this 13-footer, you're going to come up with a very inconsistent distance. So where do we go from here? How do we do this? Well, it starts with understanding slope and speed. You can do this in a variety of ways. One would be using something like the perfect putter to notice where putts of similar length, that's what we're saying, right? We're saying that if you have a zero putt, that all these putts would use the same length stroke. So how do you teach yourself to see slope and speed? Well, it starts with understanding what you're trying to see. I hope this furthers this conversation on how to better train people to see slope and speed. And yes, I understand that research projects would say heads-up putting would be beneficial for most golfers. That'd be true if we were playing on a flat surface. My contention is that because of the slope-speed equation, how distance of putts can greatly alter because of slope, that we need to train ourselves first to understand slope, and second, to see how slope can change the distance of our putt.
Know how much time I want to spend in this rabbit hole because I don't know if I want to walk away from this podcast feeling like I should be putting with my eyes on the target.
You do.
I know that is the conclusion, but I don't know if I'm ready to commit to that. You have studied the effects of heads up putting. I'll let you describe what that is and how that works and why the data overwhelmingly says that golfers of most skill levels are better off looking at a target, not necessarily the hole, but a faraway target that they're aiming at.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it stems from the same fundamental understanding of putting, right? You have those 4 factors: control of putter head speed, where the ball hits in the face, path, and face angle. And what we're trying to do is reduce variability in those things. But speed, we have to get that number relative to what the hole is. That's the only one that really changes. Hole to hole is like, I need a different putter head speed in this one. You don't want to change your face angle. You want your face angle relative to your body to be the same every time, your path and your impact spot. So if I look at other sports, basketball shooting, I clearly look at the hoop, what I would call the far target, right? But it's, basketball is different than golf because I'm holding the ball. right? You don't have to hit this thing. But if you go, okay, what about like billiards? Now I need to hit a cue ball to go hit another ball. Well, in billiards, you don't look at the cue ball, you look at the far target, right? Hockey, no hockey player. I'm watching my 9-year-old play hockey yesterday. When he's going in a breakaway, he's looking at where he's shooting the puck. So there's an inherent advantage in looking at the far target, right? Basketball, hockey, billiards. So then in golf, you have to ask the question. This is the question I asked when I started researching this. It must be, my hypothesis is that, if we don't look at the ball, we really screw up impact spot, we really screw up face angle, we really screw up path. Because all the available evidence says we're going to be better with putter head speed, executing on the speed if we're looking up. If we close our eyes or put our head down, our ability to remember how far away something is decays exponentially. So as soon as you put your head down, we start to forget about how far that way. And what we're always trying to do, because putter head speed's so important, right? We're trying to marry that distance, that information with an effort level. And if I put my head down, I start to forget about that information, then my ability to execute in the speed gets suboptimal. So start doing studies. Turns out that's true. Our ability to execute the intended speed goes way up when you putt heads up.